Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. Today I will be teaching you how to get Band 8 in Ielts writing. Although the majority of people don't really need to get 8, since most universities abroad accept students with 7.5s and under, the fact remains that there are some people who still needs it, right? I would like to take my Korean student who is currently living in Australia as an example. He is working there, and for him to get a permanent visa, he wanted to get 8 in IELTS, particularly in IELTS writing, and that is his goal. And I believe that it's the same with other people. Although they only need to get 7, for example, they want to get a much higher score, and that's pretty understandable. Now, for you to get 8, what are the things that you need to do? Let us begin. Basically, when it comes to task response or achievement, you have to make sure that you address all parts of the task, and it should be sufficient. What I want to say is that, for example, there are 2 questions in the topic. The first question is, what are the causes of this problem? So you have to make sure that in body 1, you will be writing the causes. If the question or the second question is asking you provide solutions or give solutions, you have to make sure that in body 2, you should write there or suggest some solutions. If the question is asking you, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? If that is the task, you have to make sure that you really write there that there are more benefits than drawbacks, or there are more drawbacks than benefits. Aside from that, when it comes to your response, it should be well developed and it should be well presented. You have to make sure that your answer to the question should be relevant and extended, meaning your main sentences and your supporting sentences should be all connected to each other. You are not off topic. Because if anything in your essay is unclear, it's confusing, it's not organized, you are less likely to get Band 8. Now, moving on to coherence and cohesion, you have to make sure that you arrange the information and the ideas logically. When you need to paragraph or when you're writing your paragraph, you have to write it skillfully, meaning there should be some gaps or some spaces. There's actually no specific rule as to how many paragraphs you need to write. There are some essays that I've seen online that they write like 4 paragraphs. However, I've seen 5 paragraphs essay. So there's nothing wrong on that, as long as it's all connected to each other and you're not off topic. Alright? Now, when it comes to your connectors or connectives, there should be a level of elegance and style. Because if you use simple and predictable connectives like firstly, secondly, finally, and these kinds of expressions, getting 8 is impossible. Instead, you will only get 6, right? Now, for example, instead of writing firstly, I recommend that you write the primary reason is, the initial factor is, the first major cause would be, or the first possible reason is. Instead of writing secondly, try to write another point worth mentioning is, another point worth noting is, another significant factor to be considered, and these other words or phrases. And instead of writing finally, try to write last but not least, ultimately, or the final point. Firstly, secondly, and finally, these kinds of connectives are okay if you only need to get 6. But if you're targeting 7 and above, natural connectives would be much better because it can boost your score. They don't look mechanical and they don't look predictable, right? Now, moving on to the next topic, instead of writing for example, try to write an appropriate example for this. Or take blank as an example. Take blank for example. Example, take Korea, for example. Alright? Or an appropriate example for this is South Korea. So this looks more natural instead of writing for example. Alright? Please don't forget that the linking phrases that you should use should not look noticeable or mechanical, just like what I've mentioned a while ago. Now, when it comes to lexical resource or vocabulary, you have to make sure that you use a wide range of vocabulary and you have to use the most precise words. Use less common vocabulary naturally with an awareness of collocation. For example, instead of writing poor people, try to write impoverished people or impoverished individuals. Instead of writing rich countries, try to write affluent nations. In that way, you can get a much higher score because poor people or rich countries are composed of very simple words, right? Now, when it comes to your grammar, you have to make sure that you use a wide range of structures. In short, you need to write simple sentence structures in your essay and more complex sentence structure or compound complex structure. If you write more simple sentences, you will definitely get 6 and below. But if you write more complex or compound complex sentence structure, you're going to get 8. And you have to make sure also that your sentences are error-free. And if you're going to make some errors, it should be very occasional. All right? For example, we have this topic. Some people believe that the physical fitness of strong individuals and teams is the reason for most sports achievements. Others, however, think that mental attitude is more important. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. If you're going to write your introduction this way, you might get 6.5. It is generally agreed that it is vital qualification for sports athletes to have strong physical capacities. While this notion has its own reasons, I firmly believe that the most critical factor is the mentality of sports player. So this is only 2 sentences, and then the sentences are quite short, right? So you can get 6.5 if you write your introduction like this. But if you write your introduction like this, you can get 8. It is often argued that athletes' physical strength is the most fundamental source when they engage in any sports activities, whereas some individuals believe that their mentality is a pivotal aspect before physical ability. In my opinion, people should be prompted to focus on their mindset first, as it entails several advantageous results. If you notice, although this is only 2 words, 2 sentences as well, actually it's longer, right? So this is compound complex sentence, and the words or vocabulary that were used here were more complex or less common. All right? So basically, I have a topic here. So for my subscribers, I have a topic here. You can write your answer to this topic on the comment section and I will correct it for free. The topic is, some people believe that the physical fitness of strong individuals and teams is the reason for most sports achievements. Others, however, think that mental attitude is more important. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. So write your answer in the topic in the comment section and I will correct it for free. That would be all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye!